One more minute and we will get started. Virginia, we got people from all over. Crawford, New Jersey. Very good. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start Jeremiah's introduction, because that'll probably take me a minute or so as well, because he's a very powerful guy. You know, he's one of the world's leading voices in marketing strategy in the financial and insurance industry, a 23-time award-winning entrepreneur, consultant, and philanthropist. He gives a lot of money and he raises a lot of money for charities. He's empowered over 100,000 financial professionals in 51 countries around the world to grow their business. He's a TED speaker, an international keynote. He's spoken on the same stage as Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki. He's the host of Advisorist podcast, which was ranked in the top 50 of podcasts on iTunes. He's an avid philanthropist. He's traveled the world giving back to communities that need it. And if you invite Jeremiah to your next event, you will not be disappointed. So with that, let me introduce you to Jeremiah Desmarais. Jeremiah, please join us.
Thank you, Tom. I'm really grateful to be here, and it's an honor to be on the same stage with you virtually here today. So thank you so much, Tom. Looking good. Hey, everyone, let's just do a quick sound check. If you can see me, see the screen, and you can hear my voice, can you put the number 1 in the Q&A? And by the way, I want this to be really interactive with us today. So in the Q&A, go ahead, and that's how we're going to interact today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I want to share with you how growth mode insurance and financial advisors are getting anywhere from 3 to 7 qualified prospects booking onto their calendars this week in as little as 15 minutes a day, doing the exact opposite of what other people are teaching. So I'm really grateful to be your host today. All right, so I'm seeing all the ones come in. Excellent. Dan, Mark, Dasesh, Lisa, Matthew, Robert. All right, we're ready to go here. So if you stay all the way to the end, by the way, I have a real special bonus. It's Goodwill campaign templates. So congratulations to all of you who downloaded the templates that we gave you to show up to the masterclass today. We have some more templates that will be serving you to help you get more clients that build goodwill using principles of psychology and reciprocity. So stay on to the end, I'll give you that. So I'm here to tell you today that you really can build a simple strategy that does get you 3 to 7 new prospects booking directly onto your calendar, without having to chase people down or learn a bunch of technology, in a way that's easy, enjoyable, and has an immediate impact on your bottom line. How many of you like ideas that work right away? Give me a yes in the Q&A if you like ideas that work right away. Yes, definitely. Okay, good. So what is my agenda today here, right? Well, my agenda is to give you the insights and the breakthroughs that you can use to land your next 5 clients in the next 30 days. And this is important, to get you to a consistent $20,000 a month in fees or commissions over the next 90, maybe even position you for $50,000 months, which is what our clients do. Now, again, you're going to hear some pretty amazing stories throughout this class today. I'm going to bring up some case studies. We even have a video to show you. I want to make my lawyers happy. We just have to share that, we don't guarantee you're going to get the same results as them, because success is an indicator of multiple different factors which we can't control. But I can promise you that I'm going to give you everything that we have in order to help you succeed today. So that we respect everybody's time, I think it's important we start off with the basics. Who is this for, right? Who is this masterclass for? Well, if you're an ethical advisor and you build long-term relationships using products and services that you see on the screen, so that could be life insurance, whether you're using infinite banking, circle of wealth, you do term, whole life, annuities, you're more of an AUM type of person, you do IULs, fee-based, wealth management, executive comp plans, family offices, and yes, voluntary benefits, group, and commercial lines would all work well for this class that we're doing today. In addition to that, here's the psychographic of who's right for what we're going to teach. You're open-minded about owning a process you control that's like a profit faucet. You're also serious about getting off this commission roller coaster. Have you ever ridden that commission coaster, right? 1 month it's 12 grand, then it goes down to 5, then it goes to 35, then it goes to 17, and you don't have that flexibility. And helping you get to $20,000 a month consistently within 90 days and then scaling that after that to 2 to 3x. And maybe while we're going to spend some time talking about LinkedIn today, maybe you've not had LinkedIn work for you personally, but you know that it's possible. It's just you've never had anybody show up and teach you the step-by-step method that works. And you know that it's time to do that now. Ultimately, what you're looking for, the whole reason why probably we all got into this business is you want to leverage lifestyle, right? Where you have the money, the time, and you want to claim back 100 days a year. If that sounds like you, type the word me into the Q&A. I want to know that we've got the right people on the right line. And if it's not you, that's fine too. You know, you can excuse yourself and hopefully you enjoyed the scripts. Awesome. Harley, Kimberly, Cynthia, Carl, Matthew, Dustin, Jason's going me. I love it. Tom, Chris. Okay, beautiful guys. Boy, Tom, this is a great audience. They're super engaged. I really have not seen this too often. So who is this not for? Okay. If you're an advisor and you're strictly focusing on health insurance or Medicare or only 65, this is not probably going to be very useful for you unless you want to get into companies and have them position you as the expert to their employees who are perhaps on the road to retirement. Then it's going to be a great class for you. But if you just do individual sales and you're not willing to change, or you're just, hey, look, I don't want to talk to anybody over 65, this is not a class for you. So you can go back to having a wonderful day. Also, if you sell programs that kind of mask as insurance, but aren't really, this is not going to be a good class for you. Or if you're more of a transactional advisor, you're not really building into long-term relationships that will refer you and create that additional capital asset, the relational asset, then it's really not for you. Okay. And also, if you're not in growth mode right now, if you're just kind of coasting on your book of business and you're kind of, your, retirement is, you're looking at the finish line and you really don't want to do anything, this class is not for people who don't want to work. Okay. It's not a get rich quick program. You will have to work to implement these ideas, but it's really not for folks who are just like, hey, I'm coasting, I'm good. Probably you'll have another better hour somewhere else. Okay. So I want to customize this class. And I know that Tom has an amazing tribe of advisors that you guys have been following Tom just like I have all over the world. You've been seeing him on stages, but I'd like to know, what is your primary line of business so I can customize today's class. So do me a quick favor and do yourself a favor. Go ahead and click on the poll that I just launched and let me know, what is your primary line of business? Now, I think I got most of the options down. Are you life? Are you annuities? You can click on retirement planning. You can click on AUM exclusively. You can also click on fee-based planning. Now, I think I got most of the categories. If there's a category I missed, you can just leave me a comment in the Q&A as well. Awesome, guys. Well, you guys are really engaged. I have almost all the votes in. I'm going to close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, let me show you this. I love transparency. Our team knows that I run Advisorist as a very transparent organization. So look at who your neighbors are today. You're rubbing shoulders with 38% of you are into life, 14% of you in annuities, 38% are doing retirement planning, and then 10% are doing either AUM or just fee-based exclusively. Perfect. Guess what? This is the perfect audience for this class. This is kind of what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I hedged my bets. So let me show you the top 10. One of the things I promised to give you, and I want to just dive right into it, folks, is what are the best niches that are converting right now for high-end insurance and financial advisors that are consistently earning over 20K a month. Here they are. Number one, the C-suite. All right, so CXOs, so that would be the CEO, CIO, CTO, CMO, anybody with the C-level title converting very well on LinkedIn. Small business owners, often overlooked surprisingly on this market. Doctors, I'm actually going to show you somebody later who's meeting with 7 doctors a week because he's using the shift framework where you're going to learn. Attorneys, how would you like to have 3 to 5 attorneys booking themselves onto your calendar every single week and establishing those powerful circle of influence? Over 50 employees as well is doing really well. CPAs are excellent. And I got to tell you, number 7, the HR directors, HR managers are hyper connectors because they're always looking for new employees. So they're usually very open to connect. So they have a high ratio of request to connection acceptance. We'll talk about that later. And then finally, senior managers. If you're looking for people who are maybe over 50, but you know that LinkedIn doesn't allow you to sort through that, what you can do is you can look for people that have years of experience of over 10 or over 15. And if you look for those, typically they're going to be a little bit older and they're going to be your ideal mindset and the right kind of person to meet with. Now, I think it's important for you to know where the story of the shift method came from. So I'm going to go back in time a little bit. When I was a little bit younger, I had no gray hair and I was a brand, skinny kid. I think I'm still a skinny kid, but skinny kid from Montreal. I came to Chicago and I ended up in a wee little company that was a startup of 6 employees. And we had it in our heads that we could generate leads. We weren't too smart at the outset. We were actually going after truckers for health insurance leads. Can you imagine how unintelligent that was at the time? But we ground it out. And after a couple of years, we got to the point where we were generating over 250,000 leads every single month. And by the way, those were the good old days. We were making it rain like crazy, and we could get leads for like $5 a lead. Then we get into life insurance. Then we got into all these other verticals. And one of the techniques that really worked was getting people together into a tribe-like format, kind of what Tom has done over his career and what we have over here at Advisorist. After a couple of years, that company was sold for over $1 billion. It then was changed to the name Go Health. Then I said, you know what? There was something to that recipe. I ended up working with a company called Bain Capital. Many of you have heard of this private equity firm who bought a company, and they brought me in to help turn it around because I knew a few things about generating leads and marketing. And that company, Applied Systems, went on to be sold for almost $2 billion. And then after those 2 companies, I said, you know what? I love both of those were in the insurance industry. I said, I had this epiphany. Like, I realized that the landscape in our industry, insurance and financial services, had completely shifted to digital. And that's why I called it the shift method. And when you get this internally and you apply this, you realize you can apply this anywhere. So what I did is I went to LinkedIn, which you're going to learn my secrets today. I went to LinkedIn, I took up my small amount of connections, and I built a multi-million-dollar business just off of a few connections that I had off of LinkedIn. And that has grown to me being invited to share my story on the TED stage, which was one of the most fearful events of my whole life, but incredibly grateful it happened. And I often speak around the country and around the world teaching the shift method. So if perhaps you write for any of the brands you see on the screen here, we have advisors from all those brands that have applied the shift method and been successful. I've had the privilege of sharing this and doing deals with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, where we brought his great salesmanship into this industry as well. And I've been shared the stage, as Tom said, with Tony Robbins and Jay Abraham and many other luminaries in the field of marketing and leadership. But I got to tell you, what really jazzes me is everything you see on the screen right now. This is a picture of my wife and I traveling the world. And when we got married 12 years ago, we created a mission statement for our marriage. And that was to be a force for good in the world. And so we've lived on the south side of Chicago, where we've worked with people who were former drug dealers, drug addicts, broken homes, foster kids, kids of abuse. We've have programs running in Haiti and in Ecuador right now. And we're just so grateful that we have the opportunity to give back. But I only share that with you for one important reason. None of that would have been possible if I hadn't shifted my thinking and I hadn't shifted building a business that is totally leveraged and creates lifestyle. So let's dive into this right now. It's important, as you know, Tom is amazing at helping you understand trends, right? And his last presentation, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, has really put a focus on millennials, the future generation, and how much they need to know what you know and how you can approach them in a way that they understand and appreciate. Because I got to tell you, although sometimes this industry is looked down on in the general pop culture, I think you guys are more important than doctors, because having somebody understand their financial health is one of the most critical things in life. And I've seen good examples and bad examples in my family, so I know how valuable you are. So I want to thank you. So I've built this whole deck for you. So let's talk about the 3 major trends that most advisors are completely unaware of and how you can turn them into $20,000 months. So here's a shocking poll that came out of the American Association of Individual Investors. Do you know that almost 2/3 of your clients don't trust you to act in their best interest? That's incredible. That's the people who already gave you money. 2/3 of them don't trust you. On top of that, Americans trust themselves more instead of financial advisors. This was another study that was done. 65% of Americans don't even work with an advisor, and they'd rather get opinions from friends and family. This other poll that came out as well, only 2% of Americans feel that they trust financial professionals a lot. 15% say they trust them a little. We have a crisis of trust in this industry. If you agree, say yes in the question box. Let me know if you think that there is a crisis of trust for this profession in this industry right now. Yes, okay, tons of answers, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm on the same side as you. I'm just pointing it out so we can do something about it. What about the second biggest trend is the rise of technology and how it's obliterating the old school. Look at Tesla's market cap of 442 billion compared to companies that have been around for years. Look at the market cap of GM and Ford. You put them together, it's still not the market cap of Tesla. So you have all of this disruption happening. Where else are we being disrupted? Well, think of the massive transfer of wealth that's coming. I know a lot of you are probably right here. Let me grab my little spotlight here, right? A lot of you are focusing on baby boomers, right? Baby boomers, I only want to work with the boomers. Give me 65 and over, give me 55 and over. That's my market. What year are we, folks? We're 2030. We're 2021. I was looking down here. Look what's been happening to the disposable income of boomers. It has been going down since 2000. What's on the rise? This is where you have to be like Tom and I. You have to be looking forward. Generation X. But look at what's happening here. The millennials. In just 7 years, we're going to have a crossover that we've never had before. This is where the millennial population will outpace every single generation prior to it. And guess what millennials are doing with their money? Are they looking for financial advisors? I wonder, what do you think? Do you think millennials are online looking for financial advisors? Or are they more going to YouTube? And are they following people on Snapchat? Or are they going to TikTok and following them? You probably guessed it, but would you like to know where their money is? Here's the breakdown of the average inheritance that millennials will be getting. Yes, 40% is tied up in businesses, but the other 60% is available to be shepherded and helped in different directions that only you as a financial professional have been trained and God, and have been certified to do. I mean, this is one of the toughest professions to get in because you have to have all these certifications, right? Every year you got to get all these CE credits. So, but here's the other shocking truth. 66% of children will fire their parents' financial advisor after receiving an inheritance. Can you imagine that? Why? Financial advisors, we're not doing that great a job right now in building relationships with the younger generation, but you're here to fix that. But here's the worst trend of them all. All right, you ready for it? Give me the word ready if you're ready for the worst trend of them all. Blockbuster advisors versus Netflix advisors. What am I talking about? The Blockbuster advisor has been in the business for 10, 20, maybe even 30 years or more, and they're resistant to change. They've been coming to webinars like this for a long time, but they have yet to apply anything. They believe everything's a fad, right? The internet was a fad. Smartphones are a fad. Webinars are a fad. Everything's a fad. They rely on their past success. Hey, I used to drive around and I put a 15 million miles on my little Hyundai and I closed deals at the kitchen table and they're still riding on that story and they haven't evolved. And yes, even their attitudes are old and tired. I'm not saying physically, I'm saying the attitude is an old and tired attitude. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million. And you know what they said? They said, nah, we got this. We got thousands of locations. What is Netflix going to do to us? Put us out of business. Here's the Netflix advisor. Open mind, right? Comes to classes ready to learn and say, you know what? I know maybe I don't know everything, but I got to keep an open mind. I embrace change. I see the future and I'm youthful and I'm growing. So advisors today, I want to hear it from you. Which are you? If you're a Blockbuster, give me a B. If you're a Netflix, give me an N in the Q&A. I want to know which one are you? Yeah, of course. We're all showing up as N's. Great. Because anybody that follows Tom knows we keep up with the trends. I don't want any advisor here by the end of this to not feel like I didn't give you the tools to turn from a Blockbuster to a Netflix advisor. So here's the good news, right? So those are the trends. You had to know the trends to know where to position yourself. But here's the good news. There's actually thousands of advisors, and I call them a silent army, if you will. It's a movement that grows every single day that is turning these trends and riding them like waves of opportunity. And I personally believe that fortunes are being made in the space of months, whereas previously we were talking years. And I'm going to give you some actual proof of fortunes being made in the last 12 months, whereas some people haven't been able to do that in decades. And we call that Shift Nation. Shift Nation is a movement, is a tribe that you are now a part of because you embrace these ideas. And it started with my #1 best-selling book, Shift, which I published and shot to the #1. I'm so grateful to Amazon, where I talked about how people are shopping for insurance and financial planning products on the internet. They're starting there, and they would prefer to have that interaction there. Then we launched a podcast on iTunes, hitting top 100 in the business. And then we have the Virtual Advisor Power Hour we kicked off in the middle of COVID to help bring together these like-minded individuals. So every Wednesday, we have 4,000 people signed up to show up at noon Eastern, where we give free training to teach you how to shift your practice. In case you're wondering who Advisorist is, Advisorist, it wouldn't be here without this amazing team you see on the screen. All these wonderful people are located around the world, and our mission is very simple. We're here to help 10,000 advisors double their book of business and give them back 100 days a year. That's what we live, eat, and breathe every single day, and we're so glad to introduce them to you. So, is this really working on the front lines? Well, what's happening? Well, we're taking old school advisors like Bill, who was a Blockbuster, who said, you know what? I want to turn into a Netflix advisor. And he went from a zero to a hero appointment machine. He's going after affluent executives, CEOs. Before, he wasn't even on LinkedIn. He didn't even have a profile. And after 6 months later, he had to recruit 2 more agents to handle all his business. And of course, he made a nice, cool 25K in the first 30 days in the process. Now he's got this rich database to work with. We have Bill as well. He had a profile. It was really dusty. He only used it as a resume. He started going after CEOs, averaging 2 meetings a month. Then he went to 7 meetings a week. He had a 400% increase in his prospecting. And what I'm going to show you on the screen are private conversations. I took everybody's name off, of course, but these are CEOs. These are affluent executives who are telling advisors, please meet with me, call me back. I have time here. And by the way, these are not leads. These are people who know you. They know your name. They know you're an advisor. And they're saying, yes, I'd be interested in speaking with you without having to compete with the rest of the herd that's out there. People are posting on our Facebook walls, hey, you know, I tried to apply this. It got me 25 responses and 10 appointments. Another one, he sent out one of our emails. One of the emails I gave you actually made $14,000 commission. He sent it out to just 9 people. Another one, 73 replies. Another one made 100 grand in top line revenue right away, $35,000 a week. This other guy, Joseph out of Texas, he booked 6 appointments after trying this for just 5 days. I could go on and on with the success, but I want you to know that this stuff works, and it works whether you're in your 20s or whether you're in your 80s, okay? The oldest person we've taught this to is 87 years old, and they're enjoying appointments being booked on their calendar, all right? So let's do a quick other poll, because this will help me further tweak. We're gonna take out your notepads, because I'm gonna start bringing you screen shares and so forth right now. Here's my next question to you, Shift Nation. What is your average monthly income? I know in our society, we don't talk a lot about income, but let me be honest. If you're in this business and you're not doing 10K a month minimum, you got to ask yourself, do you really have a business right now? Or is it more of a hobby, right? Because if you're stuck in the sub 10 range, there's some things I want to tell you and teach you today. But if you're in 10 to 20, I want to know that as well. And I want to know who's over 20. So if you're under 5K, you can click on that. And by the way, this is anonymous. We don't know the names. This is an anonymous poll. Okay, so I'm not going to publish everything. It's just for me to know. Okay, so everybody's voting in. Boy, super active audience. Excellent, guys. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to close it down in 5 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Okay, so we've got it's kind of an interesting half and half. We've got quite a few under 5K. We've got another group that's between 5 and 10, and then I'd say probably about 30% are over 10K, and then we got 11% that are over 20K. Okay, perfect, guys. So if you're in the 20K category, what I'm going to teach you today can help you scale it to 40K. If you're under 5, I'm going to give you some free things that you could use to help you get to the 10. And if you're at the 10 to 20, I'm going to show you what you can do to get to 20. Okay? Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for that, by the way. So we're ready to get started. If you're taking notes, take a clean sheet of paper. There's 3 shifts that you have to make in your business. I'm going to go through them one by one, and we'll dive into detail. 3 shifts to hitting a consistent $20,000 a month. And I'm not talking one time and then you got stuck. You got to go chase after another idea and chase another shiny bullet. I'm talking about consistent $20,000 months. Okay, number 1, you're going to plant your flag with a USP. We'll talk about that in a second. Write that down. Plant your flag with a USP. Number 2, growth hack with LinkedIn. And then number 3, embrace platform marketing. Number 2, growth hacking LinkedIn. And number 3, embrace platform marketing. If you guys are ready, give me the word ready in the Q&A and we'll get started. Awesome. Okay, you guys are ready. Ready. Okay. Shift number 1, plant your flag. The days of the holistic general advisor are done. I'm not saying don't be a holistic advisor. I'm saying be a holistic advisor if you really want to do that, but do it in a specific area. Pick your niche. There's riches in niches. The tighter your audience niche, the less time you're going to lose, the easier it's going to be to sell, even if you're not a great salesperson, because only 12% of the world are natural born salespeople. The more you can speak the language of a target audience and be seen as the authority, the less competition you'll have, because everyone else, every advisor is trying to be all things to all people. Let's be honest, right? Maybe you've come to this class today and you scratch your head like, yeah, and I understand the first 5 years in this industry is a grind. My friend Michael Keitzes says the grind is grindier in the first 5 years. And we get that, right? And at that point, you're just like, I just need to talk to anybody. So let me go back to the top 10 or the top 8, I should say. These are the top 8 niches. And I'm going to give you some examples, right? So we talked about CEOs could be one of your niches. Small business owners could be a niche. We have a client who's doing small business owners who are women. Doctors, think of doctors. You have doctors, dentists, cardiologists, surgeons, neurosurgeons. You have multiple niches within there. You have attorneys, different kinds of attorneys. You have businesses over certain kinds of employees. You have CPAs, HR directors at specific companies, right? Senior managers who, we had one guy today on one of our classes, he is going after federal employees who are Christian. That's a niche, right? The federal employee niche, that's a great niche. But he's decided to go even further and say, I want to align with people who have my value system. Now, you can find niches really easily on LinkedIn. All you got to do is look for groups. Look at this. Here's a dentist niche, okay? Some advisors are crushing it in this niche. Dentist Network has 50,000 members. The Global Dentist Network has 10. And then you got, look, the top 1%. You could even create your own group, like some of members of Shift Nation do. They create their own group. They go find dentists and they invite them to their group and they block out all the other advisors. And guess what? They have their own tribe of prospects. LinkedIn groups help you bring niches together in an environment. Here's the other secret. Can you imagine how powerful it would be if your LinkedIn profile had a niche on it? Because let's face it, 98.5% of advisors have a profile that looks exactly like this. Poor guy had to block his name out because I didn't want to bring attention to him. But you've got a designation or accreditation, a certification. That's great. But if all you have is a headshot and financial advisor or insurance advisor, are you really standing out? How many of you have profiles that look like this? Just put me. I'm not going to call your names out, but I want to know, like, do you have profiles like this? Yeah, okay. Justin, what does a CSO stand for? CXO stands for any title. The X is like anything, right? Like CTO, Chief Technology Officer, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Executive Officer. Great question that came in from Jim and Justin. Thank you, guys. All right, very good. Next, So let me show you what one of our graduates has done. So here's Barakat Kalele. After he finished in the Air Force, he was struggling as a financial advisor. He really didn't know who his niche was. So working together, coaching him, he discovered that he really has a passion about helping veterans. As a veteran himself, he loves helping fellow veterans handle their money. So what did he come to the conclusion? He realizes that he wants to help other veterans who are called, listen to this niche, veterapreneurs. How cool is that? Veterans who have become business owners. And that's his niche. Right now, when veterans see this, do you think they're like, just another another insurance guy? No, look at him. I mean, he totally stands out. He's got a before and after picture here. From veteran to business owner to passion. You guys can do that. You can hop into Canva or have your assistant do it and create a banner that tells people, who do you stand for? I'll give you some more examples in a little bit as well. So today, I invite you to decide whether you want to be a big fish in a small pond, or you want to be with all the other little fishes in the ocean of sameness, where all the advisors are fighting them out. Which do you want to be? Look at how many doctors you could go after on LinkedIn. There's over 2 million of them. Here's an answer from one of the doctors who got a message that I'm going to teach you in this class. And here's what she said. Yes, thank you. My sincere apology. The doctor's apologizing to the advisor. I love it. I was out of town last week. I was Swamp House tomorrow, 11 or Monday afternoon. She wants to talk about money. She wants to talk about her retirement. Here's another graduate, Nick. So Nick, he's like, I'm full bore. I'm going after doctors. Look what he did on his headshot, on his, on his banner right here. He put in an image of a doctor working, not a doctor walking on the beach like the Viagra couples you see on all those retirement ads. No, he put a doctor working. He had somebody who runs an association of doctors look at his USP. Remember we talked about that? That's number one. Plant your flag with your unique sales proposition. This is it. This is your USP, your USP. Look at what he wrote. Helping medical professionals optimize income protection, innovative solutions for tax advantage wealth. Do you see how he has two USPs? Helping medical professionals optimize income protection. Then he has a little emoji. By the way, very smart. If you want to use an emoji in anything you do, the brain translates emojis into actual human faces. So when you show somebody an emoji of a smiley face, the brain actually sees a human face. So use emojis to communicate with people. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful, and you can do it in a very tasteful and a very classy way. He's meeting with 7 doctors a week because he planted his flag. He said, I'm going after doctors. Somebody who has an association of doctors saw Nick's profile, reached out to him and said, you're the only, I get hit up by advisors all the time, but you're the only one who had something specific about doctors. So I want to talk to you. Guess what? He invited him to become a regular contributor to this newsletter that now goes out to 40,000 doctors every single month. Nick has more business than he knows what to do with, and we're going to show you a little video of him a little bit later. Okay, you guys want more examples? Write more if you want more. Okay, Roger says, what's USP? Unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition. So it's a statement that you make, a sentence that tells people what is unique about you and what do you do. So USP, right? Great question, thank you. Zach, many of us are limited by compliance. Oh, I love this. As to what we can say in our LinkedIn profile, hence the vanilla nature of some. Absolutely, Zach. Thank you for bringing that up. We have so many advisors who have said that to us and come through this program and this class, and you can still find ways. Here's the key, my friends. Do not make compliance your enemy. Make them your friend. Make them, this week, for those Canadians of you, I was on the line with 4 people from Investors Group Compliance. We explained what this advisor is doing. We explained what he's going to be doing. And you know what? They wanted to help him. They're like, how about we send you some content? Yeah, you can do that. See, the thing is, most people treat compliance like garbage. So they treat you like garbage. So what do? Make him your friend. Be one of the only 10 advisors they know that love them, and give them about 6 weeks advance notice on stuff. You'll never be disappointed. You do those things, my friends, you will blow your competitors out of the water where everyone's just like, I hate compliance. Just make them a friend, right? Put them on your team, and then they'll fight for you. 600,000 CEOs that have over 50 employees you can go after. This gentleman here, Jeff, he's like, Jeremiah, I love your stuff, but I don't want to do any of it. So I want one of my admins to do it. We're like, cool, that's actually the way you should do it. If you've got more money than time, have a virtual assistant do this for you. He did $350,000 after just 90 days, just doing LinkedIn. A guy who had been in the business, old school, 25 years, he started doing this, changed his life, okay? Do you see how the fortunes are being created here? The fortunes are being created, and they're being created by your community. So I know you guys can really do this. You want another really cool trick? On LinkedIn, you can find money in motion. Why is it a great idea to have a conversation with somebody who is changing jobs? Question, put your answer below for brownie points for the win. Why is it a great time to have a conversation with somebody when they're changing jobs? It's a low pressure conversation that opens up lots of revenue opportunity. Yes, Janine, thank you. First in line, first to dine, Janine. Rollovers, right? Actually, Janine, what I'm going to do is, Jasmine, can you make a note? Janine was so fast, I want to send her a copy of the book. So please make a note. Janine, send us your address, okay? Want to send you a copy of the book as a gift. Awesome. What about Holly? Like, how many of you are in small towns? I know Tom was reading all those cities. How many of you are in small towns? Like, LinkedIn's for big city folk, right? Well, meet one of our amazing graduates, Holly, out of Iowa, okay? Actually, she's from a town that has 12,000 people. She started targeting business owners. She put $250,000 in pipeline in 45 days using these techniques. So what did she say? What is she saying in the LinkedIn messages? You guys ready for a script? Here we go. This message does two things exceedingly well. Take a picture of this, copy it fast, because we got a lot to do. I'm not going to stay on this slide very long. Look at the USP. I help you implement lessons from the super rich. Ooh, love that, right? Who doesn't want to get something the super rich have? Because, our minds are like, they're bad. I want what they want, right? So you reclaim your time, secondary benefit, and live an amazing life of significance. Wow, what a great USP. Here's the message, okay? Hey, thank you for being open to connecting with me. I look forward to supporting your efforts. Nice. Hey, I'm not leading with a pitch. However, I'm not a really connect and move on type of person. Would you be open to a 15-minute digital coffee where we get to understand each other's businesses a little bit better? Click here to book a call on my calendar. The headline qualifies the person, right? Lessons from the super rich. And then a coffee meeting is non-threatening. So take this as a takeaway. Don't ever ask people for a meeting. Don't ask for a 1 hour. Don't ask for 30 minutes. Don't ask for 20. Ask for 15 or less. Some of our braver students are doing 10-minute virtual coffee meets. 10 minutes. Nobody wants to meet with somebody for longer than that. We're in a highly distracted society. And let's face it, a lot of us are doing revenge travel right now, right? We've been locked up so long, we're like, I need to get out of the house. I don't want to do a lot of meetings. How about the HR industry? Absolutely explosive, 700,000 HR professionals. This gentleman here, one of our clients, he was able to get 50K just from 3 prospects because he planted his flag, because he had a USP, and because he chose a specific niche. That's how powerful the first shift is. Once you have that tight audience, the less time you're going to lose, you're going to speak with authority, and you're going to have less competitors. Let me give you another approach message. This is the third script I'm giving you if you're keeping track. So when you're going to connect with somebody on LinkedIn, now that LinkedIn has reduced the number of connections you're allowed per day, you have to be really smart about it. You can't just be like, I'll connect with everybody. You got to use that USP. You got to plant the flag. So keep it really simple. Don't put anything promotional in your requests. Just keep it very, like, if you're in line at a coffee shop, right? Would you tell the person, hey, I'm a life insurance advisor. Can I set up a meeting with you? People be like, dude, what's going on? I'm going to go to the back of the line just so I can be away from this guy. So something simple. Hey, John, I noticed we both do business in Chicago. I thought it wouldn't hurt to connect. Hope business is great. Remember, you're building a relationship. You're not trying to convert somebody on the first visit. Now, I actually had to bring this up to some of our students earlier today. I want to ask you guys, which advisor is more trustworthy? The one on the left or the one on the right? Just put L or R. L or R. We got this one in Beverly, Mass, and we've got this other advisor also in Beverly, Mass. Which is more trustworthy? Of course, you guys got it, the R. So here's my point about this. Do you know that the one on the right actually has less experience, doesn't have any designations, and has been in business for less time than the one on the one on the left? The one on the left has 2 designations, and she's been doing this longer. But because he got himself on the media, do you see what he's able to do? We have a whole program. I'm not going to go into it now, but I'll give you a quick tip. You can use Haro, help a reporter out. Every day, reporters are looking for advice from financial advisors, and you can get yourself on places like NASDAQ, Star, Fox. If you decide to work with us sometime down the road, I'm not selling anything like that today, but we'll show you how to do that in less than 30 days so you get that instant credibility. Look at this guy here. We got one advisor who's got a certification, CLTC, fantastic. But one of our clients is blowing him out of the water. Why? Because he created a flag. He created a USP. So the shift you need to make, as I round out the first step, is you need to shift and find a niche. If you find it today, great. If you find it next week, great. Find it next month, great. But pick your niche. There's riches and niches. All right, you guys ready for shift number 2? Write number 2 if you guys are ready for shift number 2. All right, awesome. Boy, what an engaged audience. I absolutely love you guys. That's great. Aaron, Jason, Mike, Joel, Larry, awesome. Okay, let's keep going. I have on the screen here a picture of one of the most remote tent private resorts in the world. It was a gift that my wife made as a surprise to me one summer. My wife and I love to travel. We have so few things in our home because we're kind of minimalist, but we love to collect experiences. We're not into collecting things. We're the same school as Tom, right? Tom is like, he who dies with the most toys wins, and Tom doesn't believe in that, neither do I. We're about collecting rich life experience. So one day she took me to Boston International Airport, just outside where I live. And I didn't know where I was going. My bag was already packed. I had gotten some injections for shots. I didn't know where I was going. And she handed me the ticket, and we were going to Johannesburg, South Africa. To get to this place, I had to fly from Boston, Massachusetts to Johannesburg, South Africa. I had to then take another plane right outside Kruger National Park. I had a guy pick us up, drive us 2 hours to the opening of the park. And then once we're at the opening of the park, somebody came from the tent resort, picked us up and drove us in another 2 hours. Like, I'm talking remote. But you see this elephant here? This guy was eating his breakfast outside of our room the very next morning. Like, I mean, the experience was extraordinary, right? We got to pet a cheetah and we got to live to tell the tale. Like, the experience was amazing. And I highly recommend you guys do a safari to enjoy nature and creation in its absolute rawest form. It's wonderful. So but isolation and remoteness is great for vacations, but you know what it's bad for? Websites, okay? It's bad for websites. And here is actually a mansion in the middle of the Gobi Desert. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? This is actually exactly what advisors do today. They will spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on a beautiful website. And then they're like, I don't have any leads. Where's all the leads? It's kind of like, hey, can I get a visitor? Can I get somebody to opt into my lead form? Have you ever felt that way? Give me a yes if you ever went through that experience of investing in a website and a year later, you still don't have leads. Yeah, a lot of you, right? Mark goes, freaking A. Angie, Lisa, Janine, Joseph, yeah. And you know what, guys? It's not your fault, okay? This is not your fault. Nobody has just told you like what you need to focus on when it's not working, and it's not a website. So here's shift number 2, growth hack LinkedIn. Growth hack LinkedIn, that's number 2. So on your sheet of paper, do that. So, and here's the thing. If you're making less, are you guys okay with real talk, by the way? Like, I'm giving you some nuggets here, but are you okay with real talk? Yes. Okay, you guys are all giving me yes. Okay. If you're making less than $10,000 today, you need to stop whatever you're doing with marketing. And I'm talking about the superfluous stuff like a fancy website. A fancy website does not get you to 10,000 a month. Every single person on this line should be able to get to $10,000 without buying leads, without trying to hack pieces together, without trying to subscribe to everybody's list and pick a little golden nugget from each part. You should be able to do that. Don't let anybody tell you you need to be doing Facebook ads, seminars, Google ads, SEO, or having a fancy website if you're not making 10 grand a month. Do not. Save your money. The reason, and here's the reason, it's not your fault. You may be getting started, you just haven't given it. Here's the number one reason. Your offer is not strong enough. Your offer is not strong enough. Your USP is non-existent. You don't have a niche. And when you get in front of somebody, you don't know how to close yet. So what is somebody less than 10K supposed to do? I've been there myself. I've been at 1K. I've been at $316.12 in my bank account. I've been there. I've done that. And I feel you. Because here's the reason. If you're going to be doing that, it's like you're investing money in a leaky bucket. You think you're putting prospects on your website, but they're not. Because if you don't optimize it, they're not going to find you. You think you're going to master Facebook ads? Do you know there's guys out there that spend $1 million a month on Facebook, but they've been doing it for years? They have a private line to Facebook, and all they do is they live in front of Facebook. So your prospects are just slipping out of your hands. So what do you have to do? You have to focus on where the affluent are, and you have to put in something that focuses on one thing only. Get appointments. That's it. No SEO, no fancy thing. Just get yourself appointments, and that's going to fix the money problem. That's going to eliminate the coaster. So why do we recommend LinkedIn? This is not a LinkedIn class, okay? We happen to use LinkedIn now because it's absolutely crushing it. And I'll be honest, most advisors on LinkedIn have no idea what they're doing. So it's still a blue ocean in my world, okay? It's a blue ocean in our world. We've even taken people who've graduated other people's LinkedIn courses. They come in and it was like, it didn't work. They come in here, they're having $20,000 a month after 6 weeks. They're just killing it. Carol Dewey's an example on her YouTube channel. She's a grandmother, tried other things, came here, but because they didn't have the right shifts in the program, she didn't have it. Now she's making $20,000 a month like this. Bam, bam, bam. So here's why. You need the data, right? Where do investors go to research financial decisions? 73% of them go to LinkedIn. Who do they trust for advice? Number one, Bloomberg, Smart Money, and CNN. Who wants to advertise on those places? Too expensive. LinkedIn. High net worth investors from this study of Cogent, they did a study on high net worth folks. They said high net worth investors on LinkedIn are in a mindset that's appropriate for financial discussion. So you ever know this? Like, how many of you guys have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, right? Twitter, LinkedIn. You ever notice that when you're on Instagram, you're in a certain mindset, right? You're like, oh yeah, nice like, oh, jealous, nice like, right? Facebook, you go over here, rah, 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 lots of noise, kitten videos. You go to LinkedIn, something happens in your brain. Have you noticed that? It's like from Facebook to LinkedIn, it's like all the noise stops and it's like business, like go time. You ever noticed that? Who's ever had that feeling? Give me a yes if you've had that feeling. Yeah, absolutely, right? So go to the place where people don't want to mess around. They want to just talk about business. LinkedIn members are 23% more likely to have an IRA, 32% more likely to have a 401k, 40% more likely to invest in mutual funds. Do you want to have that honeypot? Of course you do. 79% of the affluent, even if they have an advisor, will still do their own investment research. And the ones on LinkedIn are 157% more likely to trust an article on LinkedIn. So what are you going to do? Put an article on your website that costs you $5,000 and nobody sees it? Or are you going to pop an article on the LinkedIn article feature where all the high net worth investors are? Obviously, option B. So does this work, guys? Does this work? For the past 4 years, we've put over 10,000 high net worth people on calendars, making over 100,000 connections, all on LinkedIn, all in this industry. I have a little folder on my desktop. I collect full calendars from our clients. Anytime someone gives me a win, I'm like, can you send me your full calendar, please? Because I want to show it off just like I'm doing now. Just this month, by using the second shift only, I still got one more shift to give you. This is the second shift. Our members have had 361 conversations a day, 528 appointments a week are generated, 17,000 are in the wings, 1,700 are in the wings ready to meet, 258 people are booking themselves like this. No cold calling, no begging, no sending annoying messages, just appointments on your calendar. I want to address one of the questions that came in about compliance, right? Some people think, this is great, Jeremiah, but my compliance department won't allow this. I'll tell you, we've gone against the best compliance departments, in the industry, the roughest broker dealers. We always win. You know why? Because we use normal human messaging. As long as you don't do promissory statements, you don't talk about market gains, you don't say things that are false, and it's a human interaction, most compliance departments treat this as regular email messaging. Here's another thing. Some people are out there telling you all you need to do is put a little Chrome extension and let the robot run. Wrong. You could end up in LinkedIn jail forever. Your account could be banned. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be using automation solutions that do not have Chrome extensions. And finally, some people think, you know what, this isn't going to work for me. And to that, I quote Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. So whether you think you can do this or you think you can, you're actually right, okay? If you think this is not gonna work, guess what? It's not gonna work. If you think it will work, guess what? It's going to work. Tony Robbins, I love one of his quotes, if it is to be, it's up to me. Don't let other people, message boards, or naysayers tell you what you can't do. You guys ever seen the show Lost? You remember John Locke, who fell out of the plane? He was in a wheelchair on the plane. And when he got to the island, he could walk, right? And his mantra was, don't ever tell me what I can't do. One of my favorite fictional characters, because nobody could tell him anything. It was great. All right, my tech nerds, do I have any nerds on the line? Do I have any nerds? If you're a nerd, self-professed tech nerd, let your freak flag fly, because I want to see you. Yes, okay, Curtis, yeah, I see you, Jason. All right, Kai, all right. So here's the thing, guys. Just connecting on LinkedIn doesn't work anymore, because when LinkedIn went from 100 a week to 100 a day to 100 a week, a lot of these little businesses, a lot of these consultants disappeared. They didn't have no idea what to do after that. So here's the secret, right? You want to build a stack. You want to build a tech stack that not only does connections, but uses a series of if-then statements to leverage all angles, the in-mail angle of LinkedIn. And if you still can't connect, then you've got messages that are going out via email. So this gets pretty advanced, and I'm doing this more of a primer for most of you. But for those of you that are already advanced, whether you're working with us or you're working with somebody else, think long term. The real game here, and I think only 10% of the audience is going to understand what I'm going to tell you, the big play is data. I want to encourage every single person here to become somebody that builds a massive list of people who know you. Don't buy lists, don't spam people, but that is the big play, because in the next 18 months, it's a race for data. Whoever has the most emails that have opted in is going to win the day, because by being able to nurture that list, you are going to absolutely smash it. Now, I have a couple more things I want to teach, so we got to blast through some of these things. I don't have time to talk about the neuroscience, but I really wanted to show you guys this. So this is the strategy, okay? And you want to use a combination of humans and robots. So once we found our niche, we've created the message and we've activated some sort of compliant automation, then your messages go to work for you. The person accepts the message, and then you have nurturing. And here's where most advisors stop, right? Hey, I sent a message. Nobody replied. This thing doesn't work. On to the next shiny object. Let's go. Right? Have you guys ever done that? Tried to follow up one time, and then you're like, these leads are garbage, right? Well, let me tell you, most of the follow-up, the leads are going to happen on message 5 to 16. That's how jaded people are. So you have to have a system in place that constantly nurtures without you being there. Because let's be honest, if a robot can do it, I'd rather have a robot do it than a human do it. They'll never complain, they'll never call sick, and they're extremely cheap, okay? I hire A talent to run robots. That's how our organization runs. We have A players and they run robots so that they can perform at their best. And that's what I want for you guys as well. Let me just keep going here because I really got to get to the third one. So just imagine if you had 32 people you were trying to follow up with. Could you even handle this mentally to do all of these follow-ups? Absolutely not. You couldn't, right? The human cost, that 20 bucks an hour, which is really cheap labor, is 1,000 a week. You don't have 4,000 a month just for this, right? Instead, you want to use the bots. Okay, that was, we talked about shift number one. You got to plant the flag with your USP. We talked about shift number two, growth hacking LinkedIn. Now we got to go to shift number three, embrace platform marketing. So you remember the illustration that I gave you about being in Africa or being in a website? The problem with having just a little website is you think your platform, your little website, is going to attract all these high net worth people that want insurance, annuities, AUM, fee-based planning. That's not going to happen unless you invest at least 12 months in SEO at $2,500 a month. Even then, it might be iffy. Instead, why not go to the pools, the oceans, where the people are? Go to the other platforms. Look at this. People who are paid, the top experts in the world to market content, do you know where 94% of them go to push their content? LinkedIn. LinkedIn, it's the #1 place to share content in order to be able to get qualified prospects. LinkedIn drives more traffic to B2B blogs and sites. 90% of social network traffic was driven by the big three, so that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, with half of it coming from LinkedIn. It's also, according to a HubSpot study, the best social network for lead gen. So if you're going to pick one network, my friends, why would you pick any other network than LinkedIn? Now, this year, it's the year of LinkedIn. In fact, it's been the year of LinkedIn for the last 10 years, and I only see it growing because the affluent are not on Facebook. The affluent are on LinkedIn. So I want to encourage you to embrace marketing on a platform instead of saying, I have to do everything in a silo. Trust me, if you guys really want appointments, go to a platform, devote to the platform, and then create a niche on the platform. And that's the secret of Shift. That is the whole secret right there. The other thing too, remember I told you about the money is going to be in the list? LinkedIn is amazing for building your list because every time you connect with somebody, guess what? You get their phone number and you get their email. How many of you have ever bought lists in your career, right? You get them for free on LinkedIn. All you need is a $79 SalesNav account and you can just max out the entire system. So which would you rather dig with? A little spoon, or you want to pull up a backhoe and get to digging to where the gold is, right? All right, so I had a lot of great stories, but I gotta keep going here. So here's the good news, my friends. There are several proven approaches to get replies, appointments on LinkedIn, and to close new clients from it. The thing I want you to walk away from today is every advisor, and maybe you up to this point, underestimated just how powerful just that one platform is when you apply the 3 steps of the Shift method and how effective human messaging is at scale. So let me ask you this, guys. Give me a yes in the Q&A, ladies and gents. Would you agree that there are millions and millions of prospects available for you to approach online right now? Give me a yes. Okay, awesome. I love it. Justin says, LinkedIn is for all. Yes, absolutely. Mike, perception is reality. I love it. Would you also agree that you can start getting appointments today without being even close to perfect? Would you agree with that? Give me a yes. Absolutely. Okay. And do you agree it can be done relatively quickly? Okay, very good. Now, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to do a gift for everybody who is a big fan of, as much of a fan of Tom Hegna as we are here at Advisorist. We love this guy. So we wanted to do something today. We would like to give you a copy of the $1 million swipe file today. The $1 million swipe file are emails that have generated over $1 million in fees and commissions specifically for insurance and financial advisors in the last 12 months. This isn't stuff from 10 years ago. This is stuff that works now. We've got emails for people who've ghosted you, emails for people that you don't know, emails for asking referrals, emails to drip on people. We've got emails with animated GIFs, emails with images, all which lead to higher conversions and people saying yes. One email in here got one woman $250,000 in commission after sending it to just 2 people. So even if you have a list of 2 people, what you have in here will help you out. We've got over 48 pages in this book we want to give you. The other thing I'd like to give you today is the affluent targeting technique video training. So I could only go really fast, and I see some of you like, Eric, great question. Can I have 2 niches? By the way, if you guys want to hang out a little bit, I will answer every question. I want to make sure I really serve you guys. But we've got a video training that will go much deeper into how to target affluent prospects. You're going to get 3 advanced search and connect strategies to build instant rapport. You're going to see how one advisor scaled from 24,000 to 150,000 in recurring annual revenue using LinkedIn. By the way, he became one of our coaches that teaches advisors how he did it. You're going to get 3 tips from that same advisor, how he grew his business after switching to it instead of cold calling. You're going to get the sweet spot search parameters where you can eliminate the chaff and only get the high level prospects. You'll also learn a very helpful tactic for helping for grabbing 401k rollovers. We have a 7-step method we created to finding 7-figure leads on LinkedIn. We're going to give that to you in that training. And you'll learn how to message anyone on LinkedIn absolutely free. So for those of you that really are in a super budget, you're going to love this because you don't even need Sales Navigator to do what that is. And you can target CEOs absolutely free. How to go after doctors and dentists, and how to use groups to isolate affluent centers of influence. The second bonus we want to give you is the LinkedIn Messaging Secrets video training. So I could only give you a few examples today in an hour of what's working, but we're going to give you 2 connect request strategies that are highly effective right now. How to immediately put yourself on the top 10% of advisors on LinkedIn. You're going to get a simple A/B test that any advisor can run to improve connection acceptance rates with no fancy tools required. You're going to get our 4-part messaging cadence for optimal timing, a trio of good connection request messages that I personally reviewed and brought up on my screen, 4 follow-up messages to convert, because once you connect, you got to get messages to get people to meet with you. And then a bonus technique that only 1 in 6,000 advisors are even using on LinkedIn. And trust me, we are trying to break LinkedIn every day. Our team, we have a whole team. All they do is they study that. And we found something that no one else is doing. You're going to get the secret. Now, last week, Tom, or 2 weeks ago, Tom came on the Advisorist Shift Nation show, and he gave an incredible offer. So I wanted to follow in Tom's footsteps today. So we got hundreds of people here today. Here's what I'm going to do. If you would like to have this bundle today, the $1 Million Swipe File, which is a $297 product, the Affluent Targeting Technique, which is a $497 product, and the LinkedIn Messaging Secrets, which is normally a $497 product, the total is $1,291. Today, while we're on the class, for the first 50, you can grab it for 97 bucks. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm not here to sell you anything for $97. That doesn't make a hill of beans a difference in the revenue line of Advisorist. But here's what it does do. We have a fund that we put aside every month where we send to causes that we're passionate about to do good in the world. Remember I talked about Force for Good? So right now, I just took a trip down to South America, and I was investigating the impacts of Venezuelan refugees escaping the economic crisis, because they don't have smart people like you helping them, to Ecuador. And these people are doctors, engineers, and lawyers. They are sweeping streets. They are begging streets. They are selling fruit in the streets. We brought down a shipment of equipment to help them start small businesses, like small juicing businesses, because fruit is really cheap over there. And we're going to put a portion of proceeds to those funds. So we're really doing this for a good cause. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to be one of the first 50, all you got to do is do 2 things. Number 1, in the Q&A, put I'm in. I'm in. And then number 2, you got to go to this link right now. Jasmine is going to drop it in the chat. It's joinadv.com/Hegna. Joinadv.com/Hegna. And then Jazz, would you mind just putting the HTTP there so that they don't have to copy and paste it? Jasmine is on our team. She's there handling the chat, helping you guys with support issues every single day. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on my screen. And then Jazz, if you can repost it with the HTTP, this way nobody has to copy, they can just click. All right, so here's where it's going to take you, my friends. It's going to bring you to this very simple page. There you go. You can click on that link, guys. First 50 are going to grab this for 100 bucks, basically. You're going to get the video training number 1. That is a 1-hour training. You're also going to get our second 1-hour training. You're going to get the $1 million swipe file, all of that for just $100. And I'm also going to do another bonus as well because we're all about going beyond what people expect of us. So here's the other thing I'm going to do. So by the way, I'm seeing a lot of I'm-ins right now. So make sure you guys place your order. I see Andrew, Eric, Angie, Eric, Stephanie, Daniel, Farah, Joel, Kevin, Larry, Michael, Ravi, Cynthia, Dan, Mark, Michael, Zach, Chad, Dwayne, Esther. Esther's like, I am in. Okay, good. So go ahead and do that right now, guys. I'm going to give you the other bonus. The first 25 people, because you saw my team, we're not 1,000 people, we're 30 people. All right. So the first 25 who actually go through and invest in themselves with the $97, you're going to get also a free 15-minute breakthrough strategy session. As soon as you make your purchase, you're going to see a calendar. Click on the calendar and book yourself a spot. I want you to do that, okay? Because our coaches are set up to help you, give you a little more guidance on what's the number one challenge and what do you need. It could be something you've already gotten, or it could be something else, or maybe there's another free resource we can give to you. So you're going to have a chat about meeting more people, getting your time back. We have a whole program that's all about getting your time back, increasing your commissions, right? Through cross-selling, finding your next sale, taking your practice virtual so you can close business anywhere around the world like our rock stars do. Whatever you want to talk about, they're going to be there to help you out. So that's going to be free. They don't have the ability to sell you anything. Okay. They're just there to give you extra guidance. And sometimes all you need is the little hinge that swings the big door, right? The little 2% that makes all the difference. Finally, I'm really excited. So I normally don't do this as part of this special bundle, but Tom's my man. I want to take care of his people. I have a new book coming out called the Virtual Advisor Sales Playbook. This playbook is over 60 pages of proven scripts based on neuroscience. We've got a section in there, what to say before the call, opening statements that get buy-in psychologically, closing scripts for higher commissions, rebuttals for increasing conversions, and follow-up sentences, which, by the way, everything you're going to get in those scripts, you can actually copy and paste into emails. You can paste into LinkedIn. You can use them in your video sales letters. You can use them in your virtual presentations. You can use them in your webinars because they're going to work everywhere. You know why? They're based on neuroscience. All right. It's not woo-woo stuff. It's literally measuring the brain and telling the brain commands, and then it takes an action. So if you want to have, I'm going to start selling that next month. But if you guys want it before everybody else and you want to get it for free, I'll include it for the first 25 as well. All right, guys. So all you got to do is go to joinadv.com/Hegna. I'm going to leave this on the screen, grab a sip of my tea. I'm going to invite my good friend Tom back. Tom, you've been sitting there patiently, and I know you and I are kindred spirits about helping advisors. Any words before I start hopping into some Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely. So now you know why I bring Jeremiah on. Like when anybody tells me they're having a problem with prospecting or marketing, I said, you got to follow Jeremiah. I just think you're a master at what you do. I think of the way I prospected in the old days. I used to buy a list of new home buyers. I used to buy a list of baby leads. I would then send out a letter, which postage was very expensive. I spent hundreds of dollars every week just on postage. And then I'd have to call. We'd say it wasn't a cold call. It was a warm call because we sent a letter, still pretty much of a cold call. But, now today by using LinkedIn and using this technology, we can do things so much better, so much smarter. I mean, the fact that you can find out who's changed jobs in the last year so that you can call for a follow-up on 401k rollovers, that alone, I think is worth gold. And just so you know, I have also totally changed my business. I've shifted my business. If you think about it, 2-3 years ago, how did I make my money? I made my money speaking live, and I'd sell my products in the back of the room. Well, in the last 2 years, I may have done 5 live presentations. I mean, in person, I'm doing it all virtual. I've moved everything digital. I've got webinars now going 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I do advertising, drive them to the webinar. The webinar offers a great deal, and that's my new model. And I think as advisors, if you're still in the blockbuster mode, you've got to really, start moving into that Netflix and that digital mode. And the fact that, you're offering all these extra things, I think is just incredible. So I don't make a single penny, whether you buy anything or not. Jeremiah, have a relationship. It's not financial at all. I do webinars to his people. He does webinars to my people. That's what we do. And I only do webinars with people that I totally trust, that I think are the best of the best at what they do. And that's why I bring Jeremiah on. So Jeremiah, I think you've done an incredible job here. And I know you're probably going to get a lot of questions. So I want to leave you time for that.
Thanks so much, Tom. I appreciate the vote of confidence. That means a lot coming from a legend like you. So everybody, here's the screen right here. It's $97. You're going to get all of this with the bonus that was included. And you're also going to be doing good. So how's that for a sweet deal? You're basically going to take us for $1,100, and we're going to be able to give a portion of this to do good in causes we believe in, that we're passionate about. We're into animal causes, we're into charitable causes, we're into philanthropic causes here. This past year alone, thanks to everything that we've done together in the advisor community, we're able to feed 50,000 meals to families affected by COVID. And we're so grateful we have the opportunity to do that. I remember I was at a place in my life when I needed somebody to give me money. I needed somebody to help me out. And I remember being in Brooklyn, New York, having moved from the US, I was from Canada, I was trying to my way, and I was on a steady diet of apples and peanut butter. And there was a family that opened up their home and they let me stay in a single room. And without them, I couldn't have started, what eventually became what you're seeing today, this massive shift nation of thousands of people coming together to help people with money. So I'm incredibly grateful for people helping me out. And I know that you're grateful for when you've received help as well. So we get to do that together. We get to teach you great marketing to create abundance, and you get to do good. So if you're one of those folks, go to joinadv.com/Hegna, joinadv.com/Hegna. I would love to hop into the Q&A. So I know Jasmine is working furiously in the background. Jasmine, I think some people weren't able to find the calendar link. So Jasmine is going to reply to you guys to make sure you do get the calendar link, okay? She'll be able to do that. Okay. So Jim and Justin, I answered that question earlier. I'll just keep rolling along here. Zach, I answered your question about compliance. Eric, can you have 2 niches? You can, doctors and biz owners, but here's what we found. It's going to take about 90 days for you to know whether your niche is performing in a campaign. It's not like try it for 7 days and then didn't work, or yeah, it worked, right? Because you have what's called regression to the mean. Anytime you integrate humans into an experiment where it's not a controlled experiment where you're dealing with, specific chemicals or materials or so forth, or minerals, you have humans. So humans will mess you up, right? So you have regression to the mean. So you've got to run an experiment for 90 days. And I don't recommend you do 2 campaigns. You do one for 90 and then you switch for another 90. All right, hopefully that helps you. Susan, great question. What do you do to get to women? Would you guys like it if I just bring up my screen and I'll show you some cool stuff on LinkedIn? You guys want me to do that? Give me a yes, or you just want me to handle the Q&A audio style. You guys tell me. Because I could bring up my screen and I could actually show you a few things. Yeah, okay, Michael, Jerry, Lucinda. Lucinda's yes on the women question. Awesome, okay. So we got Lucinda asking this question. We got Susan asking this question. So obviously, this is important. So let's take a look, folks. This is the landing page again. Remember, guys, it's the first 50 only, so make sure that you hop in there. After that, you can come back and buy it from us at $1,200 anytime you want. Here's what you're going to do, okay? Over here, you're going to type in the word women in the search, because LinkedIn doesn't allow you to search by gender. And then you're going to click on groups, and then you're going to get women, right? Women in photography, there's a niche. You got 2 niches, women, you got women into photography. Then you have Mujeres Líderes de América. So you got American Women Leaders, a bilingual group. So if you speak Spanish, there's another great sub niche. Women's Wear Daily, Women 2.0, Women in Business, 28,000 members. Hello, there's your niche, right? So what you do is you click on this and you ask to be part of the group, and then you can run campaigns inside the group, right? So we have a tool that's called AdvisorLink. I'm not selling it today. You can't even buy it from us. You have to be a client for you to even use it. We actually give it to you if you're gonna be a client of ours, but it will automate this whole process for you. Okay, that's how you get to women. Alejandro, thank you for this nice words. You could not be more right. People are busy and think they are too busy, and eventually they do respond. Yes, I think you posted that right around we were talking about the nurturing, right? Great points, Jeremiah. Never too impressed by marketing webinars. This is different. Well, thank you. We strive to be different and outgive everyone. Thank you. Melissa, love it. How can I do college financial planning? Is that a niche I could run with on LinkedIn? So here's the thing. Unlike Facebook, LinkedIn is a professional network. They don't do gender, they don't do age, they don't do parents, they don't do children, they don't do divorce, they don't do any of that kind of stuff. But what percentage of people on LinkedIn would you say have kids? It's pretty high. I don't have the exact number. 4 years ago, it was 30%. It's probably grown by now. But what you could do is you could do a campaign and you say, I work with professionals that want to save for their children's college education using unique strategies known by the IRS or something like that, like something really curiosity inducing, right? Very good. Vikram, I want this stuff, Jeremiah. Awesome. Yes, I want it for you too, Vikram. Let's see. Robert, question on niches. I wanted to make more than one niche. So what are you recommending here, JD? Same answer I gave to the other gentleman. Pick one niche, try it for 90 days, then switch. Okay. All the best marketers in the world work in terms of campaigns. So think of yourself like take off the advisor hat, put on the CMO hat, Chief Marketing Officer, and say, okay, if I'm going to be strategic, I need enough time to prove whether it works or not. And by the way, folks, that's another little secret in the industry. Most advisors will last inside of a program for 4 weeks and then they give up. And then it's the next shiny object. And then it's the next coach. It's the next guru. It's the next webinar. It's the next email. And that's why people love to sell to advisors. Unfortunately, not everything works. So what you have to do, what I tell people when they come into our tribe, I'm like, put your blinders on for 90 days and just do this. I promise you, when you come out of it, you're going to be a much wealthier advisor. We want to get all you guys to over 20K a month consistently. And those of you that are already doing 20, 30, 40K months, how would you like to have your time back? How would you like to get back 100 days a year? I'm going to do some more Q&A, but Jazz, we want to do a world premiere of a cool video Jasmine worked all night on. I called her last night. It was like 5:30. I was like, Jazz, we got this awesome event with Tom. What do you say if we put together a little inspirational video to show advisors how successful they could be? And she's like, let's do it. That's the kind of A players we have on our team. They're not like, that's not my job. She's not even a video editor. She does marketing support, but she's like, I'm going to try this thing out. Guys, it's amazing. She's not even a video editor. You guys got to see it. You guys ready to see it? And then we'll give Jasmine a round of applause. And then I'll hop in some more Q&A. While you do, guys, while she cues that up, guys, join80video.com/Hegna. If the offer is still there, you can still grab it. Okay? All right, let's take a look. World premiere of Jasmine's video. Take it away.
And so if this message somehow makes it to a financial advisor that's considering working with you guys, it's been stunning.
So you're going to be here over the next 45 minutes to an hour of a group that currently was brought to me by one of my advisors.
Prior, I get a fair amount of referrals and I do a fair amount of seminars as well. So that was the main way that I was getting people on the calendar. When I added shifts, now I'm probably averaging about 6 to 7 appointments a week.
Well, I had to turn it down. And I had to turn it down because now we have so many appointments of onboarding them to clients that I had to turn down the amount of 15-minute appointments that I was having in the beginning.
What caught my attention was the fact that the advisor had 2 virtual appointments with this prospect, not having to actually initiate that intro call for them.
It's really mostly the month of August, which you would think would be a slow month overall, but my calendar has probably never been this busy in the last 5 years.
I had 8 appointments, 7 or 8 last week.
I literally have 5 to 6 appointments a day between all the different pieces.
This week I had an appointment with someone that I met through the LinkedIn program.
Build out your database.
I closed $500,000 in AUM last week, and then looks like I'll be getting about another 20 grand in life premium here this week. So
New prospects.
Of course, we're going to be working together.
You know, when I first started the group, I was probably doing around 250 to 300,000 in total revenue, and now we're up about 500,000 to 600,000.
Probably still looking at $40,000 to $50,000 of new business.
Identifying who your key customer is.
With a lot less stress and a lot more free time on my hands too.
Reaching out to them through LinkedIn.
Now he referred me to his brother.
Oh my gosh, I showed you my calendar, Jeremiah. I must have had an appointment an hour every hour of the week, and with like maxing out my calendar, and people are having to go into the next week. I mean, it was like 15 to 20.
I'm like, Jeremiah, he was right.
All right, there you have it. That was the world premiere. Jazz, we got hundreds of advisors virtually clapping for you. Thank you so much for having hooked that up. I was inspired. That was awesome. Thanks, Jazz. So Jazz, one thing, some folks, I think our traffic is backing up our server. They're not able to see the calendar link. Is that something that you could give to some of the folks in the Q&A? I can't hear you, so you can take it.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Okay, all right. Those of you that didn't see the calendar link, hit refresh. Jasmine will also grab that link and be getting to you in a moment. But I got a really nice comment here from Daniel. Daniel, you just said something really awesome, and I bet a lot of advisors feel like you. I want to take you off mute, but there's 4 Daniels on the call, and I don't know which one you are. So I'm just going to read it. But I thought this was really inspirational. Here's what he said. I've been tuning into these weekly calls, and this is incredible. I feel like I've been sitting on the sidelines, and I am done. I would like to join Shift Nation immediately to start the training and courses. Can I connect with someone today in regards to this? Thank you for all you do. No, Daniel, thank you for what you do, because what you just did is showed the rest of the audience today that now is the time for action, right? Tom loves to say, pick your hard. Struggling below $10,000 a month is hard. Getting yourself to $20,000 a month is hard. Pick your hard, guys. Pick your hard. Okay. Jasmine, so do you remember the calendar link for the buyers? The calendar link for the buyers. So just make sure you give that to them. Okay. You'll probably have to answer them individually as the Q&A section. Okay. Thanks so much. All right, so look at all these folks coming in. Angie, Stephanie, Daniel, Joel, Kevin, Larry, Michael, Dan, Michael, Dwayne. Esther's like, I am in. I love it. All right, I'm scrolling through, guys, because I want to see some questions here, because I'm here to help you guys out. I've got a little bit more time here, and I just want to see what I could do to serve you guys. That's what I told Tom. I said, I want to come on and serve. Whether you guys want to be clients or not, doesn't matter to me. I just want to serve, because every person whose mind we change, this helps to open up. And we can, what if we just help? See, this is where my vision is, okay? If you're really curious about my vision, if we help 10,000 advisors double their business, that would mean maybe for the most advisors, that's just 2 new clients every month. If we do that, that's 250,000 people every month that we're impacting. That means at the end of the year, that's over 3 million people that we can help protect what matters most, save for retirement, and live stress-free. How amazing would that be if we can do this together as Shift Nation? That's our mission, guys. So that's why we do it. And that's why I'm here. Whether you decide to join us or not, I'm going to help you out today. Okay. Hunter says he bought. Kimberly said she purchased. Somebody you asked, is there an ongoing fee? No, this is just a one-time. We have other programs you can talk to us about, but this is just a one-time kind of like, hey, dip your toe in the water, get some training, start moving forward, and start getting yourself to that place where you can be enjoying those incomes that you know you absolutely deserve. Jason already purchased, very good. Let's see. Boy, so many people came in. Woo, this is awesome. Okay. Jason has a question for the calendar, so you can hit him up in there if you can, Jazz. Is this offer part of the LinkedIn Accelerator, Jovan? No. LinkedIn Accelerator, this is like 1% of the LinkedIn Accelerator. So I think you're already in the LinkedIn Accelerator. So this is like a drop in the bucket of what you're going to get, plus the 7 calls a week. The coaches will be working with you. So yeah, let's see. Dan couldn't see where to pop an appointment, so I think you'll handle him. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. There's like hundreds of you here and hundreds of questions. Let's see. Okay, Joe's like, looking forward to my package. That's great. Gary says, I'm in. Thank you for this. I know it'll be helpful. Gratitude. Let's see. Angie, okay, can I do this even if I'm not so tech savvy? Yes, Angie. If you know how to create a Word document, you'll know how to use LinkedIn, okay? Very good. Karen goes, what was the tea you were drinking yesterday? I was driving and I couldn't write it down. So I was telling everybody on our power hours, hopefully you guys will join us next Wednesday at noon Eastern, where we kind of next Wednesday, we're talking about webinars, how to have high converting webinars. And that's all free. You guys are always invited. I talked about a tea that I use called Olbas, O-L-B-A-S. I'll just reply to you here. Let's see. I'll just put the word in there. Oh, okay, O-L-B-A-S. You can buy it on Amazon. It's great if you have to speak a lot. It kind of lubricates the voice, makes it stronger, a little bit deeper. It's a fantastic tea from Switzerland. Highly, highly recommend it. John wants others in his group to see our presentation. How can I share it with my group? We might be sending out a replay, John, for a limited time. Like, well, it'll be in the Advisorist vault. We have a free Advisorist section. You'll be able to hop in there, watch it for a limited time. So just stay tuned in your inbox or write to us. I'll type an answer. membercare@advisorist.com. If you guys are having order issues too, you know, we've had like, and we had 1,000 people signed up. So there's going to be a few who had issues. Just send us a note to membercare@advisorist.com. Jasmine and our team will take really good care of you guys. Let's see. Does age range make a difference on LinkedIn? Diana, thank you for that question. For tax-free retirement planning. Here's the thing, with LinkedIn, you can't say, I only want this for over 55 or I only want this for over 65. So what you would want to do is target people based on seniority. So why don't I just show you guys how to do that? It'll make a lot more sense if I just bring up my screen. So you got to hop into Sales Navigator for this. You cannot use the free version. And if you guys like this kind of training, like hands-on, personalized, one-on-one, you could talk to one of our coaches about it as well. But when you're doing a search, you want to bring up all the filters. And then you're going to scroll down here to seniority level. So you might want to pick people that have titles a little bit more senior. So you're going to avoid anybody in unpaid training, entry, senior manager. And you probably want to pick director and up. So I'd put directors, owners, partners. Then I could add years of experience. You definitely want to have more than 10. Okay. And then you could also choose by years of experience in the field. So that's how you do it. And as you adjust, you see that the number is going to change up here. 13 million people that have these titles and have all this years of experience on LinkedIn. And if you're like, well, that's too broad. I just want people like in my own hometown of California, United States. Great. Well, there's 500,000 of them on there. Okay. Hopefully that helps you out. Farah, another great question. In terms of our LinkedIn profile, should we remove any prior work experience prior to being in financial services? No. It would be good if you left it on there because it just you could actually have done something really cool in the past and you could use that as a base for your niche. Like we have a client who she used to recruit associate attorneys and then she became a financial advisor. So now she's going back to the associate attorney niche and she's going to be offering them tax advantage planning solutions. So no, leave it on there. It's totally fine. Justin is saying, perhaps your niche can change when your general audience changes. Yes, you can do that. I know some people are a little scared about, you know, choosing a niche because it means, oh my goodness, am I saying no to everybody? No, it really just means you're committing to one. You can still take business, take the business that comes to you by all means. But if you can develop a niche and you make it very purposeful, then you're going to be a lot more successful. Actually, the biggest advisors that I know and graduated and are crushing it in our program, and they went from really zero, all doing $20,000 or more, are just doing so well because they picked a niche. Dennis, oh, great question. I didn't mention this. I purchased the package, but it didn't ask for my mailing address to receive the products. Exactly. So thank you, Dennis. So while I have a physical copy of the book, we're sending it to you in PDF format. Why? Here's the reason. Do you want to wait 7 to 14 days to be able to copy and paste emails that can get you appointments this week? I didn't think so. I know I like to move quickly, and I'm assuming you guys do as well. So as soon as you place your order, you're going to get an email link inside our members area. So everything, we've already prepared everything. It's nice with a nice little bow, nicely organized in our members area. Your videos are there. Your book is here. And the sales book, the sales psychology book, just bear with me, guys. Give me a little bit of patience because I haven't even put that in our members area yet. So you won't see the book. To get the book, you just book the call. Okay, you booked a call, and one of my team members, who's one of my coaches, they will give it to you. Okay, so that's how you're going to get the book. All right, let's keep going. Ali, no, that was just an error. It is 97. Andre, is the content good in Canada? Any French content? From Montreal. Bonjour André, moi j'étais né à Montréal, alors bienvenue à la classe aujourd'hui. Oui, ça marche pour chaque région au Canada et au Québec. On a plusieurs gens au Québec qui ont beaucoup de succès. Had to bust out my French there, guys. But the answer is this from my other fellow Canadians. This works anywhere where there's humans, okay? If you target humans in a country that has LinkedIn and there's enough people there, it absolutely works. We have some advisors in Canada. Actually, some of them on that video were Canadians, absolutely smashing it, okay? Let's see. Okay, Darren is asking for the client niche versus the concept or the product niche. Oh, yeah. Hey, I like that question, Darren. So the client niche would be like a profession, right? So a profession would be a doctor or a dentist or an attorney or a small business owner. Then the product niche would be what you decide to do there. So I never recommend you tell people the product that solves the problem. Always focus on solving a problem, never selling a product. So even if you do things like Circle of Wealth, Infinite Banking, Power of Zero, don't use those words. You know why? They're going to Google them and be like, oh, Power of Zero, I know that, or I know Infinite Banking, or I know IULs. Never tell them a product. Use an evocatory message and tell them what to do. So like living retirement without worry. Well, how do I do that? Living in retirement without paying taxes from a 1936 IRS loophole. What? Now I'm interested, right? So never tell them the product, always tell them the answer to their problem. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to change my screen because somebody just says, hey, we can see your full screen. All right. Thank you for that, Dennis. So you guys got to see my full screen. You got to see all the crazy stuff on there like Slack. All right. If you're doing the money in minutes, how would you recommend approaching them? So Chastity, I don't know what money in minutes is. It's actually a cool name and I would like to learn more. So thank you. Do you have any materials on setting up your LinkedIn profile? If you're a member of Advisorist Max, you want to go back to some of the power hours we did. We did a 3-part power hour just on your LinkedIn profile. But suffice to say today, I gave you guys some pretty good examples of advisors that are doing a great job. Let's see, Heather, when I type the link, it goes directly to the advisors page, no landing page. Let me grab that for you there. So you're going to go www.joinadv.com/Hegna. If you go to advisorist.com, everybody, you're not going to see this. Like, you cannot buy this anywhere on our website. We don't have a Facebook ad running for this, nothing. This is only for today. And by the way, we're gonna close this down here in just a few minutes. So make sure you get your Q&A in and make sure that you get your order in, because after that you can come back, but it'll be $12.91. Let's see. Aaron, thanks Jeremiah and Tom for putting this on and for doing good. Thank you, Aaron. Let's see. Could you reach 529 plans? Yes, we actually have a member in our higher end mastermind that is doing just that. Only 529s. Yes, you can do that. Our community is trying to be a retirement community. How can I make that my niche? I don't think I understand what that niche is. Are you saying you want to go after residential communities that want to become retirement communities? If so, LinkedIn is not the place for that. If I misunderstood, Mark, just drop another note and I'll come back to you. Is it possible to hire advisors to do my LinkedIn niche marketing? So we are not a done for you practice. We are a done with you practice. So what you have today is a do it yourself offer, right? We're going to give you all the training, all the videos, and you guys go have at it. If you want to graduate to done with you, to be honest, David, we actually had a done for you agency up to a year and a half ago. What we discovered though is when an advisor is not invested into the initial phases of the process and has to do some of the work, a lot of advisors just treat this like a lead generation business or something, and they actually don't honor themselves to stick it all the way through. But the advisors who pulled up their bootstraps, who worked hard and put a process in place, now they've been able to fire us, which we love. At the end of 90 days, people fire us because they're like, awesome, I finally have what I've always wanted, a calendar full of appointments. I know exactly how to get my appointments. I can dial it up like a profit faucet. If I want more, if I want to go on vacation for 2 months, I dial it back. And they own and know the process, or they have a virtual assistant running it for them, which we can match you up with. That, David, long-term will get you off the track of relying on other people to generate business for you. Because unless you know how to do it yourself, you'll never really know how much people can take advantage of you. So that's why we don't do done for you, we do done with you. And that's our belief. So if you're looking for done for you, I don't know who to recommend you to that'll do a great job. But if you want to do this yourself or bring in, or we'll even give you a virtual assistant that'll help you execute it, check us out, get the program, hop on a call, and we can have a chat. I'm Roger. I think I paid twice. Please use the Amex. Use either the Amex and then free it up for someone else. Thank you. If you guys accidentally, in all the hype, ordered twice, just go ahead and send us a note. Just hit reply with MemberCare. You're all going to get an email from MemberCare anyway. So just reply and say, hey, I messed up twice. Don't worry, guys. We'll refund you. No problem. Angie, is there any help once we get started if we're in the accountability group? So great question, Angie. We get about 60 people a week applying to work with us. And that's without us even doing a lot of trying, okay? So we have a little bit of an application process, but if you are accepted and invited into our program, I'm not selling that today, but I'm just letting you know, this is a 90-day program and there is accountability. There's 7 calls a week with different coaches. Actually, some of the success stories you saw today are actually your coaches. They're people who came through our program, they crushed it, and they said, how can I give back? And they'll be helping you. So I'm one of the coaches as well. I can help you guys with anything you want as well. But if you're interested, you can talk to one of our coaches about that. Let's see. What if you have 2 different businesses that are not related? Both are doing well and want to use LinkedIn. The ideal clients are totally separate. Okay, so Mike, what I suggest you do, keep one profile for you in business A, and have another profile for business B. I would use maybe your wife, a spouse, a cousin, somebody that you know that would be able to run the other profile. And basically, you can implement the same tactics in that one. Okay. By the way, guys, here's another tip. You guys are staying. There's hundreds of people still here, so I know you're serious. So I'm going to give you some little nuggets here. Do you know you could rent somebody's LinkedIn profile, a college grad, for like $200, $300 a month? And you can basically make them an employee of your company. They work for you and they can do prospecting for you. So if you've got 2 profiles, just go to one of the college campuses. We actually, one of our members is hiring interns, and he will teach you how to do that, how to find interns, how to find great interns, and how to have them use their profiles to build your business. Esther, I can't wait to get consistent income. I am ready to get off the commission coaster. Yes. Yes, Esther, welcome to Shift Nation. Frank, is this a program I can delegate to my marketing assistant? Absolutely. We encourage you, because remember, the second part of our mission is to give you back 100 days a year. If you are not delegating, you will not get back 100 days a year. I take 200 days a year off. All right, so I can show you how to do it with 100, but only because we have assistants and great teams and great processes. Bonita, during the niche transition, do we turn away all other business? No. I mean, if you're going to be picking up dimes and quarters on your way to picking up the dollar bills, pick them up, right? And use that revenue to fuel a focus into the niche. Ray, great job, Jeremiah. Love your energy. Thank you. You suggested having one main niche to attract, right? Can I sell more than one of my niche products? For example, final expense and Medicare or just health? Thank you. Yeah, great question, Ray. Yeah, the niche is really the communication you give to that audience, right? I help doctors, I help dentists, I help divorced women, I help, construction company owners. And then you have your battery of products and services that you do to offer them. So you don't niche a product, you niche an industry, you niche a type of person, you niche a demographic. Gabriella, is this over? I'm here. Would final expense be a good niche for LinkedIn? Yes. But you never tell people it's final expense. What you do is you use a statement of benefit so that people, don't have worries when family members pass or something like that. I'm sure your BD or your upline has some great words, and then you could use that. Thanks for sharing, says Tom. Thank you. Awesome job, says Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Awesome, says Jerry. I know those were all for Jasmine. Let's see. A lot of calendar link requests. Oh, Krishnama Kumar is in Dubai. Hey, that's cool. Good to have you here. Let's see. Ivan, is this a business generating strategy for advisors? Yes, like everything we've been talking about today is all about helping you generate new business, because if you get more people to talk to, more people booking on your calendar, naturally your business is going to grow. Nice question. Steve, maybe a silly question. No such thing in Shift Nation, Steve, because we're all learning together. Do we need the paid version of LinkedIn? I've had the free version for years. You can do certain things with the free version, but let's be honest, for 79 bucks a month, it's going to be totally worth it. You can do all that extra searching. You can go by seniority. You can go by company size. So if you're going to really double down in this, like if you want to work with us personally, you have to have Sales Nav. Like that's a must. John, amazing. I bought the Shift program, the book prior to the pandemic. Thank you, John. And did not read it yet. Been sitting in my book collection to read. Bought the program today and will read the book starting today. Yes. There you go, John. And I'm sure you have just as many notes as I do for the book. All right. What niches work best for a newbie, says Brett. Ooh, I love it. You know what, Brett? The niche that you're passionate about. Don't try to go to a niche just because there's money there, because it's going to be a grind, bro. In your first 5 years, it's going to get grindy, but hang in there, because the number one predicator of success in insurance and financial services is, you know what? Time. Just give it time. If you just stick to it, you will be successful. So pick a niche you're passionate about. Like, I don't know you personally, but do you have a military background? Do you have a passion for entrepreneurship? Do you love working with small business owners? Do you like gaming? What are you into? Find people that are into that and serve them, and you will love it. And the first 5 years won't be so grindy. Stephen, if I was doing a service and connected with nurse practitioners but didn't get anywhere, can we still go after them? Sure, why not? We have an advisor now, he's going after nurses on LinkedIn, and he's creating this really cool community to help nurses cope with post-pandemic stress. Do you know that 82% of nurses get by every day with some sort of mental, mental support, like a pill or something? Nurses are highly stressed out. So if you can find a way to help nurses deal with stress and everything that they've just come through, you're going to be very successful. Melissa, I love that you love to serve. Thank you. I love that you recognize that. Let's see, Jeffrey, I bought, but I've been a member for almost 2 years. Thank you, Jeffrey. Well, these are all some great new additions you're going to get. Susan, do you offer a service that does robo nurturing messages, or where do I purchase that service? So we don't do robo nurturing messages to like your database. There's a great company that's called Advisorist that could help you with that. They can take your database and just basically send a canned newsletter out. If you're looking for like nurturing messages on LinkedIn though, talk to one of our coaches, because we don't sell the service. We just provide it as part of our high-end coaching. Melissa, the value Advisorist has brought in the last month has been amazing. So happy I joined. Hey, we're so happy you joined. Thank you, Melissa. Welcome to Shift Nation. Let's see. Angie, I love your leadership. Thank you. I have not been savvy on LinkedIn. Will the accountability helper assist me to do this your best way? Absolutely. Combination of self-study with coaches that are specifically there to help you in a private, intimate environment. That's what you're looking for, we can help you out. Ben, any help for us setting up our LinkedIn profile? Sure. I don't know what kind of help you need right now, Van, but if you're in the program, we can definitely help you out. If not, there's some really good tips in the videos in the package. Kathy, here's a good one. I have a full-time job currently. My LinkedIn profile is set up and focused on my past job experiences. I wanted to pivot my profile to focus on life insurance. What is your suggestion to prevent conflict of interest in my current job? Create a second profile. I'll be honest, LinkedIn doesn't like it, but if you change your name enough and maybe you have a different of a headshot, you should be okay with it. But if you're really trying to just stay, for that job right now, your best bet is going to be to buy leads if you're not going to use LinkedIn, or of course, I'm sure your upline is talking to you about warm market. Yes, you should, Mehdi. Where do we watch the Power Hour? So if you guys want to join the Power Hour, you're going to get an invite to it next Tuesday. But if you want the invite faster so you never miss it, just send us a note to membercare@advisorist.com. April, it's 97. Thank you, Carrie. Angie, please send the replay. We love you, and I believe this is an answer to my prayers. I want to follow your suggestions. Thank you. All right. Appreciate that. Anita, tried to purchase, got locked out. How can I purchase? Send us a note at member care. I'll give you a little note here at advisorist.com. Just send us a note, guys, if you're having issues. Jasmine will take care of you. Please be patient. It's one Jasmine and like 1,000 advisors. Okay, so just give her a little time. Robert Olbus, herbal tea. Jason, hey, I love this. Here's a great example of a niche, guys. I was in the trucking industry for 10 years. Now I go after the owners of trucking companies. Of course, why wouldn't you? Amazing, right? Like, why wouldn't you do that, guys? Because now he knows truckers. Like, my man knows truckers, so he's going to help trucking companies. Of course you're going to do that. Love it, guys. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You guys are totally getting this. Let's see. What else we got? Is it good to add this if I'm already in shift? No, Tom, you don't need this if you're in shift. This is 1% of shift. Okay. So this is a drop in a bucket of our master program. So if you guys are in the shift accelerator, don't worry about this. We got you. You got all this stuff already. Okay. And way more. Let's see. Let's see, Farah, is there a way to see who's looking us up on LinkedIn? I find I'm getting searched 40 to 50 people a week, but they seem to be blocking my ability to see who it is. I'm guessing my prospecting or marketing is working as I'm getting a lot more views. So there is a way to see who's looking at my profile if you have Sales Navigator. So off the top, I can't remember where specifically it is, but it's pretty easy to find. You can just look it up in their support queue. Brian, how do I get just the $1 million swipe file? We actually do not sell this individually right now. You have to get super targeted on Facebook to get it. And I don't even know what the page is. So sorry, Brian. So Jasmine, can you drop a phone number here? Seems like some people, actually Angie, and we can't take inbound calls from 1,000 people. So can you drop send us a note to member care, whatever your email is, and tell us what the issue is, guys. And then Jasmine has a very organized SOP that she follows to answer everybody, first come, first serve. Okay, what's the difference between the swipe file and the LinkedIn messaging secrets? So swipe file, these are emails. So you can send all these emails to people who are either in your database, or you can send them to people who, are recent meetings and they ghosted you. The messaging secrets is people who are not in your database and are on LinkedIn. So you see the difference? This is people already in your database. And then the messaging secrets training video is for people on LinkedIn you're not connected to. Justin, when I go to purchase, it states error 404. Yeah, I'm very sorry. We had like 1,100 people sign up for this. It's incredible. So I don't know what to tell you. The server might be getting overloaded. We will make sure. I got to hop off here, guys, in a second. Wow, we've been here for almost 2 hours. I'm so grateful for you guys, though, for sticking around. So what we'll do is, if you guys had an issue, just send us a note to membercare@advisorist.com. We'll send you a private secret link. You'll be able to still purchase it, okay? Matthew, thank you very much. I feel inspired and like I have a sense of direction. Yes, awesome, Matthew. I love it. Van, Jeremiah, you're definitely a force for good. For us advisors out there, to all the people around the world that you and your wife help, you are a great blessing to the world. Aw, I'm gonna tell my wifey that. Thank you. Thank you, Van. Sending lots of love right back at you, brother. Edwin, are there people that work with doctors and real estate professionals? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. Real estate's a great niche on LinkedIn, by the way. Great call, Edwin. Let's see. Jason, I can't wait to move from 50 days off a year to 100 days off. That's what I'm talking about, man. Build the life you want. I'm a solo advisor, says Tanya. Will that be significantly more challenging than those who can offload it to an assistant? No, because we're going to teach you something. Well, in the Shift program, we highly recommend working with virtual assistants from abroad. So I'm talking $6 to $8 an hour, working 1 to 2 hours a day, so that all you need to do is check your phone in the morning and say, wow, I got 3 appointments today. Awesome. So that's the point where we get people to after 90 days. Like they're not doing anything except checking and showing up for appointments. So Tanya, we have one man band, one woman bands that are there, and they're doing really well. You're welcome, Angie. Thanks for this presentation. Really, it's amazing. Thank you very much, Krishna Kumar. Hopefully I said that right. Let's see. All right, guys, that's it. That's all the time we have. Kurt T says, thank you very much. Very informative session. Thank you very much, Curtie. Really appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the kind words. Curtis says he got my gift. All right, Curtis. Hopefully you took some before today, so you're super on point. All right. Well, listen, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to close off with the video. I think it's just very motivating. Jasmine, I know you're writing a bunch of stuff here, and I know there's still some people that need help. So why don't we do this? Let's show the video one more time, just because it's a feel-good video. And then I'll leave this on the screen after, give you enough time to handle all the Q&A. Sounds good, Jazz? Poor Jazz, she's probably
that works.
Yeah. All right, girl. You want to show it, and then I'll bring up my screen. And then, guys, thank you so much for who you are. Thank you for being a part of Shift Nation. Whether you're with us or not today, as a buyer, is totally fine with me. What I want you to do is be a force for good in the world. Be a force for good in your family, for your community. We need you guys now more than ever before. This is who we are. This is Shift Nation. Thank you on behalf of the whole team here at Advisorist. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we'll see you on the Power Hour. Bye for now.
And so if this message somehow makes it to a financial advisor that's considering working with you guys, it's been stunning.
So you're going to be hearing here over the next 45 minutes to an hour of a group that currently was brought to me by one of my advisors.
prior, I get a fair amount of referrals and I do a fair amount of seminars as well. So that was the main way that I was getting people on the calendar. When I added shifts, now I'm probably averaging about 6 to 7 appointments a week.
Well, I had to turn it down, and I had to turn it down because now we have so many appointments of onboarding them to clients that I had to turn down the amount of 15-minute appointments that I was having in the beginning.
What caught my attention was the fact that the advisor had 2 virtual appointments with this prospect, not having to actually initiate that intro call for them.
It's really mostly the month of August, which you would think would be a slow month overall, but my calendar has probably never been this busy in the last 5 years.
I had 8 appointments, 7 or 8 last week.
I literally have 5 to 6 appointments a day between all the different pieces.
This week I had an appointment with someone that I met through the LinkedIn program.
Build out your database.
I closed $500,000 in AUM last week, and then looks like I'll be getting about another 20 grand in life premium here this week. So
New prospects.
Of course, we're going to be working together.
When I first started the group, I was probably doing around 250 to 300,000 in total revenue, and now we're up about 500,000 to 600,000.
Probably still looking at $40,000 to $50,000 of new business.
Identifying who your key customer is.
With a lot less stress and a lot more free time on my hands too.
Reaching out to them through LinkedIn.
Now he referred me to his brother.
Oh my gosh, I showed you my calendar, Jeremiah. I must have had an appointment an hour every hour of the week, and with like maxing out my calendar, and people are having to go into the next week. I mean, it was like 15 to 20.
I'm like, Jeremiah, he was right.
Hey guys, if you're still here and you need the calendar link, could you comment calendar and I'll just drop it to you. Anything else, if you could write to membercare@advisorist.com, I'll answer your questions there. We just want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to talk.
You could be alive.